We're so picky with the Toyota Tacoma that we don't appreciate what we have. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So are we so picky that we don't realize what we have in the Toyota Tacoma? You know, I think sometimes I'm probably guilty of that myself. You know, I'm out cruising around in the Tacoma right now, enjoying the ride, enjoying running through the gears, because of course I do have a 6-speed manual transmission. And I just got to thinking, you know, I make a lot of videos, you know, picking on Toyota sometimes. I do that because, I don't know, there's always more that I want out of every vehicle, right? But in doing that, do I sometimes forget what I really have? Now, I'm not saying that we should be somehow in debt to Toyota for providing this truck for us. Not at all. I think, first of all, Toyota should be in debt to us for buying the truck. I mean, we are the customer. Let's never forget that. We are always the customer. But I do think that we should be happy that there is a company like Toyota that produces a truck that is this good. You know, there is no other truck that I'm aware of, midsize, on the market that you can go and buy and then demand to be able to drive it trouble-free for most of its life. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some that have issues. You know, I get very few, but I do get a couple of comments here and there about troubles people are having with their Tacoma and troubles that they're having with the dealership and on and on. But let's face it, you know, overall, for the volume, the number of Tacomas that are out there, free in the world, most of them, I'd say a huge majority of them, don't ever experience huge problems. You know, you have your normal maintenance stuff, your oil changes, your windshield wiper blades, your brakes, all that kind of stuff, but you're going to have that no matter what you do, because they're consumables. It's going to have to be taken care of. But from a mechanical standpoint, a functional standpoint, who beats the Toyota Tacoma? You know, I've had numerous trucks throughout my life, and I've always had little issues. Things that either just didn't feel right, the truck didn't feel right, it wasn't fun to drive, it had little quirky things, you know, mostly in the full-size trucks, to be honest, but even some in the mid-size. You know, I had my first Jeep Gladiator, and it had 2 or 3 little issues, almost right out of the box. A black screen, an auto stop problem, battery problem, a check engine light. I mean, all the things that you wouldn't expect to have with your Toyota Tacoma, because it's odd when we do have those things. I think with a lot of the other brands, it's expected. At least it was for me. You know, I was always waiting, and I still am, with my second Jeep Gladiator, although knock on plastic, it's been pretty good. I haven't had any issues with it at all so far. But if I'm being honest, you know, every time I get in that truck, I'm looking at the screen, I'm waiting for something to pop up, I'm listening for weird noises, just constantly aware that maybe I'll have some sort of a problem. I don't do that with my Toyota Tacoma. It's weird, for that matter, you know, because I am so diligent, so vigilant when it comes to the Gladiator in looking for those kind of things. Even my wife's Jeep Wrangler, you know, when I get in that, just to move it around so I can do mods in the garage and stuff, or take it for a ride to make sure it's running well and all of that, I immediately default to looking for problems. And there was one recently, although very minor, and that was a squeaky window. Now, do I think it was a problem? Nah, I really don't. I think it was a dirty window, and it was, you know, very dry out, so it was just kind of squeaking against the molding or the rubber seal that goes around it. But still, I'm always looking, always wondering, never that way in the Toyota Tacoma. And I've had, you know, this is my, I think it's 6th or 7th, I lose track, Toyota Tacoma over the years, and not one of them ever gave me any trouble. Now, that's not to say there haven't been any recalls, because there have. I believe it was my 2018 where I had a master cylinder recall. Had to take that in, and they replaced the master cylinder because there was some sort of an issue with that. Of course, there's the rusting frame problem. That's probably the biggest knock against Toyota when it comes to their trucks, is the frame problem. And it seems to be an ongoing problem. I still get reports of people out there with brand new Tacomas, new model years, and having rust and things on their frames. You know, I did a mod myself not long ago because of that concern. You know, keeping the condensation from the air conditioning unit off of my frame, because Toyota, why, I don't know, but they have the condensation from the air conditioning unit at the top of the engine bay just dripping off and running all over the frame. I mean, if you live in a climate like I live in, where it's constantly hot, it's 94 degrees here right now and very humid, you're running the air conditioning all the time. I'm running the air conditioning all the time. So you're getting constant water dripping on the frame. I had to take care of that. But other than that, I think that's probably the only big problem, the only ongoing problem, and hopefully it's taken care of now. I haven't heard anything with the 2021 and the 2020s, but I hope they've taken care of that one way or the other so that we don't have to worry about that. So I think, yeah, we are too picky, I think, and really sometimes give the Tacoma a hard time when we really don't need to be. It's a perfect setup. And the other thing that I like about it, and this is Toyota in particular with the Tacoma, is they still offer the manual transmission. Nobody else does that except for the Jeep Gladiator, the Stellantis or Stiletto or whatever they're called these days. They are still offering a manual, but that's it. If you want a manual transmission, you either buy a used or a Gladiator or a Tacoma. That's all you can get. They don't exist anymore in any other trucks. So I think it's, you know, worth to say that we should maybe take a minute to just think about how good the Tacoma really is compared to the other trucks out there, and maybe not, and I'm really referring to myself here, maybe not give it such a hard time all the time. I don't think I'm that difficult on it. I mean, I really just state some of the things that I see that could use improving and some of the things that I would like to see in it. The big one, of course, is power. You know, I think without the Sprint booster on this truck, I'd probably still be having a big problem and a conundrum as to dealing with the gutlessness of the Toyota Tacoma. One other area that Toyota really should address, so that you don't have to go out and buy aftermarket units to make it like it should be. We'll see if they do. There'll be the redesign coming. Maybe they'll tweak the engine or something in between now and then, who knows. But I think as long as they stay away with some of the things that they've done with the Tundra, we should be okay, and the Tacoma will soldier on the way that we've expected and been accustomed to it being. Anyway, leave a comment, let me know. Are we too picky? Do we not really appreciate what we have in the Toyota Tacoma? I'd be curious to know what you think. Leave a comment. Also, real quick, if you're interested, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive FST, all about my 2021 Toyota Tundra, and a RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay appreciative out there. Bye.